welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. It is the third week for the Once Upon a Readathon. It is Wednesday, so I'm a little bit late starting this, especially compared to last week with the vlog, but it's just been one of those weeks. Just struggling to get everything done, to be honest. I actually am like finishing last week's vlog, editing today, and hopefully I'll be able to export it and get it up by the end of today. He's in the midst of falling asleep on my yellow chair. She has taken quite strongly to the yellow chair. Actually, it's really cute. So we're hanging out in the office today. As I said last week, I'm trying to spend more time in here so that Poppy gets more comfortable in here. It's where her big girl crate is, and it'll eventually be like her room for when she is ready to have like home alone time when she's not in the crate. That's absolutely at like the 1 year mark. So we're not anywhere close to that. But I want her to be a little bit more comfortable in this room, especially because she sleeps in here at night now. I have had some pretty big changes in my life with reading, with my TBR. Not big changes, but like basically I read a whole book since the last time I checked in. That is 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater, I believe, the second Regency fairy tale book. And yeah, so I thought I have to get on now and update you before things get too far ahead, which just means that I think that I'm going to be able to get more reading or perhaps more books read, or it'll just be a really slow last 2 weeks. We'll see, because I'm just like whipping through the third step in the readathon. So where am I at with the readathon? I finished Clara and the Sun, obviously last week, and you heard about that. I have since had a chance to talk to Dave about it. I think we had like really similar overall feelings. It was a like really neat book to talk about with someone else. I would like definitely recommend reading it with a friend, because there's like, you don't get answers about everything. So there's like, what about this whole thing? What about this other thing? Like, I kind of think that. So it was really nice to be able to talk about it while I just like shouted out like, what about this and what about that? And I never got answers on this, or like, I wish it had ended this other way. So it was really nice to talk to Dave about that book. And then I have still been listening to Black Sun, the audiobook. I have only an hour and 40 minutes left. So I will not be able to finish that today, although I'm going to be biking to and from work, so I'll have a little bit of time to listen to it today, but definitely by tomorrow. By the end of the day tomorrow, I'll have finished Black Sun. It is a much faster read than I was expecting, especially because at the beginning, it's like a countdown to this solar eclipse. So you're like, well, there's 20 days, I think. So I thought I would get more details for every day as it winds down, but it jumps pretty quickly from like day to day. It has bigger jumps in between than I wasn't expecting. We got a fourth perspective added in, which was nice. It was intriguing. Definitely there's like some political scheming and maneuvering going on. The story perspective of, I think her name is Narumpa, the Sun Priest. Her POV still continues to extremely stress me out with the, I guess, the political maneuvering that's going on, but it's like not our main character. It's not Narumpa. I don't know that that's her name, that is doing the political maneuvering. It's like someone is maneuvering against her and she's not handling it well. And that really, really, really stresses me out. I have a stomach ache every single time I have to listen to those chapters. Don't love the way that's going. And yeah, otherwise it's been interesting. We've been getting like flashbacks for like the interim years between like the blinding scene with the child, with that one character, I forget his name, at the beginning of the book, to versus like where we are now, which at first I thought there was only a 2-year jump, but I think it's actually more like 10 years. So he's quite a bit older than I thought he was going to be. I still really like the Teak POV perspective, I think the most, the sea captain. I haven't had a chance to look up the South American folklore mythology about sirens, but that's my guess of what that is. But overall, I'm enjoying it. It's just not blowing me away. So that's interesting because I feel like when I first started watching BookTube, it was huge. Like everyone was reading it and everyone was leaving it. But then I know that there was, when we announced this was going to be the book we were doing for November, people were like, ooh, really mixed reactions to that one. So we'll see what everyone else thinks of it when we talk. I'll put the details for the live show that we're going to be doing, when and where that will be. It'll be on Maria's channel from Maria Might Read That. I believe the date is December 11th, so I'll put up the details. Then, so as I've been listening to that as the audiobook, I was reading 10,000 Stitches. And actually, really, I feel like I like mostly read that yesterday, like just all day yesterday. I had picked up a few times before that, like really small, but it's my ebook, which is my ebook reading is mostly when I'm lying down for bed. And I usually get like 5 to 10 pages, and then I'm like, I need to sleep now. I want to fall asleep. And then yesterday, I think like on one of Poppy's naps, I sat down and I was reading that because I don't have a physical book anymore. And I feel like I got to the point where I became a little bit more invested. So what this book is about, it is a sort of Cinderella retelling, which I didn't actually realize. I think I remember when I first heard about this book ages ago when I saw this one on NetGalley. I think I knew it at the time when I was reading her afterword. She talks about it. I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that, but I hadn't remembered that going into it. We're following a girl who is a maid, so it's like very upstairs, downstairs kind of thing. So she's a housemaid in a lord's house, and she kind of falls in love with one of the lord's brothers, so like one of the gentlemen from the house. She is in love with this guy, and she runs into a fairy godfather, this fairy guy named, what did he go by? Lord Blackthorn, but also Juniper Jubilee. And he's trying to be a more virtuous fairy. And by that, it is helping those who are powerless and punishing those who are powerful. And he wants to help her get her man. So that's the gist. I actually found the first 25% really boring. Didn't care. Wasn't really overwhelmingly gripped by any element of the story. What's her name? Euphemia? They call her Effie. Anyway, Effie was cute, but like just like not all that gripping. And same with the other people involved. Like I liked her other housemaid friend, Lydia. She was always good for a laugh. And then Juniper, or Lord Blackthorn, he was good for a laugh. And the Lady Culver, I believe, is like the bad guy in the story. She is the lady of the house who makes Lydia and Effie's lives miserable. I actually really, but then as I was saying, so the first 25% of the book, I was like, this is kind of boring. I'm not super into this, but I was going to finish it no matter what for the readathon. And then around the 30% mark, I started to feel a little bit more invested. And I reached that point like sometime yesterday morning. And then I just basically every chance that I had, I read, maybe it was Monday and Tuesday. Anyway, over the last couple of days, just read the rest of it. And it was so cute. It actually was so cute. Like it wasn't as fully engrossing as I would maybe want it to be. Super closed door, super chill kind of romance, a little bit more cutesy and cozy and heartwarming than otherwise. Like it was like a nice cozy read, but it still dealt with some interesting topics. Like not everything is perfect. At the end of the day, the servants in that house are never going to be treated all that great. But I liked the, like, come to terms with that part of it, like upstairs versus downstairs. The idea of being powerless actually was, I thought, well done, because the whole time you have this, like, Lady Culver is just like this horrible woman, and then you get to see a little bit behind the closed doors, like behind her closed doors, you get a little snippet of that, and you feel like she also in some ways is powerless, even though she obviously has powers over the servants. She herself is powerless to other entities, other beings, other people. And while that doesn't excuse the way that she then treats other people, you do get there was some empathy or some sympathy created as well. And yeah, like I said, it was just like, it was really, really cute. I don't need more from that story. I could have taken more, but it was cute as it was. So that was adorable. Definitely looking forward to Half a Soul. I feel like I've heard that Half a Soul is a little bit better, and then I will read, not anytime soon, but then I would read the third one for sure. So that is where I'm at. Almost 4 books down, an hour and 40, 6 minutes away from being 4 books down in the readathon, 3 steps down, and I have to pick up next, which I did actually. I have to pick up The Book of Gothel by Mary McMine, which is my book for step number 4, which I think is Journey to the Apple Tree or Quest to the Apple Tree. And this one is a historical setting. I think it has magic. What's the third prompt there? I think it works for all of them. Oh, it's how long the book is. I'm pretty sure I get like all of the prompts plus hard mode for this one, depending on the book length of Book of Gothel. So if it is over 450 pages, then I'll get hard mode, and otherwise I will get just the 3 prompts, which is also great. So I have both the ebook and the audiobook for that, so depending on what I'm feeling. I started the ebook last night, but I was just read the first few pages in the prologue before I went to bed. And then, oh shoot, I forgot to check the poll. I think it is The Lies of Locke Lamora. So I will pick that up. I'll have to pick that up. I have a physical book for that, so I will be reading that physically. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. I could also go back and read books from prompts or steps that I've already completed, as long as I don't reuse the same prompt again. So if there are ones that I'm missing, I could always go back and do that as a possibility. So I will go from there. I will loop you in along the rest of my week for this week, and hopefully, and I'm gonna go back to editing so that I can get last week's vlog up and out as soon as possible. This week has totally gotten away from me. It is Friday morning, it's like 9 a.m. I've already had a big walk with Poppy. We went out at like 7-ish this morning, so she's in her crate now having a sleep. This week has just been like a total loss. Like, just, I didn't do anything. I didn't accomplish anything. I haven't actually been busy, but it's been one of those weeks where you're just like, my life is awful. I hate everything and everyone, and cried several times. I don't think Poppy's behavior has been all that bad, but it's been a little bit worse than it was the last couple of weeks when it felt like things were going really well, like she was improving in a lot of areas. So then this feels like a big step back. Even though I don't think it's actually a big step back, it just feels that way. So like every time she like did anything wrong, I would just like melt down. I'm just feeling very emotional. So just one of those weeks. And so then whenever she went down on her, like for crate time, I'm trying to hide the dirty dishes on the counter behind me. Whenever she went down for crate time, instead of like actually accomplishing things like editing my vlog for week 2, still hasn't gone up. I'm like doing that right now. I just haven't. I haven't done like errands. I haven't picked up things that I need. I haven't like done even that much reading. Still reading Black Sun and The Book of Gothel. So it's just been one of those weeks, just like a total loss. I had like a full-on meltdown yesterday when Poppy, we were doing like place work, and it had been going well until she decided she did not want to, like she got off and you have to put her back until you release her. And she did not want to go back. And when she decides like, no, I'm not doing something, she's like really mean about it. She gets kind of mouthy with me. And it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. So I finally I struggled to get her back on. And because it had been going well with place work, we had to take a break from it because it didn't go well previously. Anyway, it had been going well, and then this time did not. And I just I put her back on and like went over to the door and was just like sobbing into my hands. And then of course she like runs over and is like, oh my God, are you okay? She didn't actually say that, she's a dog. But like she had that like concerned, oh no, my person's crying. What's wrong? Look, it's like you are the problem here. At least partially in that moment. So here's the thing, today I need to get just like all of the things done. Just everything from this week that I haven't done. I feel a little bit better today. I have some soup heating up behind me. I have to finish editing. I am almost done editing, but like it needs to go up this week. I am so sorry. Like it just like, I filmed way too much content for week 2. So it's been like editing vlogs take so much time because you have to like watch it while you're editing it and then make changes and adjust things and add music and add text and blah, blah, blah. Like it's a little bit more, just because the length is so different and you have so much more content, it takes so much more time to like watch through as you edit. I'm just making up excuses. It's almost done. I'm so sorry. I have to edit, have to have a shower. I have to run and pick up a couple packages. So I've got a new harness and a new leash for our Poppy. She has grown out of her current harness. So she's been kind of like a struggle to put it on her because it's a little bit tight. So we got the next size up. Very excited for it, and a new leash. And she also has a new collar. She like just like grew out of everything the last couple weeks. So a new collar is coming as well today. That should be arriving sometime soon. I'm gonna finish Black Sun. I don't think there's much left, less than an hour. And on top of that, keep training Poppy and working through this like current pushback that she is going through. I am certain that her like teenage puppy period where they're like test boundaries and stuff is gonna be awful. Like she has a lot of personality, as our trainer says, like, which is so true. Like she's like a bit of a diva. She's very strong-willed, like fun, very fun personality. But also a little bit strong-willed. So I just know that when she gets like really, really gets into, I think it started, but when she really is like an angsty teenage dog, it's gonna be a nightmare. So that's where we're at. This is like half accountability, me getting on here and being like, I need to do all these things. But also, I have not been on here much this week. Got some plans for this weekend. We're gonna go do another puppy meetup, like a neutrality meetup with another new dog, which is exciting. And actually we're going like quite downtown. Like, so usually we've been doing meetups that it's close enough to walk there. And this one we're going downtown because I don't live anywhere close to us. We're like meeting somewhere downtown at a park. And it's like a quick little stop on the S train. So not quick. It's a little bit of a trip on the S train, but it's like pretty close right there and back. So anyway, that's the plan. And then I work on Sunday. So fitting in lots of cozy home time and group walks together with Dave and Poppy and I. That's the plan for this weekend. Okay, today has been going not so bad. Still Friday. It's Friday afternoon. It's like 3-ish, I think. It was moderately sunny today. Like it was definitely brighter than the past couple of days, which was just like the beginning of the onslaught of just like grayness that will be from now until April. But today was a little bit nicer. I have some fruit and yogurt, and I have, I don't know, 20 minutes before I have to get ready and leave for work. So I finished Black Sun. It wasn't as crazy of a cliffhanger as I was expecting. Like there was a moment where I was like, oh no, is this gonna be the ending? Like I wasn't watching the time, so I thought it was like just about to end. I was like, this would be the craziest time to end. It is still like, things are very uncertain where it ends. I can't imagine having read that and having to wait like 2 years for the second book, because that just came out. And I feel like Black Sun came out in 2020. I'm not sure if that's a fact. I'll put it up if it's not, but that's a while. If you can hear chewing noises in the background, Poppy's got to chew. Also, the laundry is running, like the washing machine, so there might be some background noise. Overall, okay, I don't want to say too much about Black Sun because there's a book club pick for our book checkout book club, and so we'll be talking about that in a live show on Maria's channel. Maria might read that. I believe she's a fairy godmother. I think she's one of the fairy godmother captains. Pretty sure that's the team she's on. So I don't want to give away too much, but I will say that I very much so enjoyed it. It wasn't a new favorite. It's just not the year for new favorites for me. It was a lot shorter than I was expecting. I don't know why I thought it would be longer, but and I actually think that it could have been longer. I wish that it kind of had, not for the readathon, good length for a readathon, but I feel quite emotionally invested in, I think, all of the POVs. There was like a fourth POV that was added in at a certain point, and we definitely spent way less time with them, so I imagine they will become more important in future installments. But I feel quite emotionally invested. Like, there was like something that happened right at the very end last night, right before I finished. I was gonna come on, but it was really just to be like, oh my God, and then not be able to tell you anything. But it was like a scene between two people who were like parting ways, and it was great. And then I'm like so stressed out about the other POV still and everything that was going on there. But I also too feel like disappointed in that person, that they weren't like better on top of things. And I always just felt like that person was letting me down in not being better. They just weren't aware. They just weren't in touch, you know? But considering how short of a book it was, I do feel quite emotionally invested in the characters. I wish that I had more time and more scenes with certain characters and more time to see things, or like see more interactions between them and that sort of thing. It was also my first Rebecca Roanhorse book, which is the prompt that I'm using it for, a new to me author. And I enjoyed her writing. I would definitely read more by this author. I think that she did a pretty good job of, as I said, like gripping me to the characters, creating a story that felt like very intriguing. She obviously got quite a bit of a response out of me with the one POV. Not a good response. Like, I was quite stressed and like stomach achy the whole time, and like disappointed, as I said. Not disappointed, but like, you know, if you read the book, you know what I mean, I think. So yeah, I would read more by Rebecca Roanhorse for sure. I am going to try to wait until next year to read Fevered Star, and I'll check and see when the third book comes out. Maybe if it's mid-year next year, then I will try to wait and maybe read both of them. But that is all I will say about Black Sun. That is step 3 officially completed. I did 2 books for step 3, Black Sun and 10,000 Doors for the romance book. But I also realized today that we're further along in the month than I thought. Like, in my head, it was still like mid-November. And it kind of is, but it's like mid-late November. It's the 17th or 18th today. I can't see when I pull it down. It's the 17th or 18th. And actually, that's not a ton of time left. So I'm glad that I finished Black Sun today. I did not make very good progress, because I think I was like a quarter of the way through Black Sun last Friday when I checked in. And it's an extremely short book, so that just goes to show you how poorly I have done with reading so far this week. Although I did finish 10,000 Doors between then and when I first checked in on Wednesday for this reading vlog. So I guess it's not terrible. But anyway, now on to step 4 is essentially what I was going to say next. So on to step 4, I have started already reading my book for that, and that is the Book of Gothel by Mary McMine, which is a new release this year. I don't think it's a debut, otherwise, no, maybe it is. No, I think she has, I'll put up on the screen if it's a debut, but it's not what I'm using it for. I'm using it for the historical setting. It is set in 13th century Germany, I believe. I am using it for magic. There is magic. And also the page count, I think, is on this one. But either way, this is going to be a big scoring book for me. I'm reading the ebook, but I also have the audio copy available to me. I have both out from the library. And now that I have finished, like all other books, I also should start the book for the step 5, which I will confirm, but I'm pretty sure is The Lies of Lukrembo. I've been saying this whole time, and wouldn't it be crazy if like Fury Song like snuck up behind and beat them out? That would be fun. But anyway, if that's the case, I only have a physical copy. It's like right there. There. I have a physical copy of The Lies of Lukrembo, so I have to get onto that. Fury Song also did become available at the library just recently, and if I don't read it this month, if it was in the winter, I'm gonna read it within the 21 days that I have to read that book. So I did take a copy. I think I have both the audio and the ebook for that as well. So again, not necessarily readathon, but I've got those ready. I'm finally gonna do it. Okay, that is it. I have to go get ready for work and then go to work. Just do classes. I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier, so I picked up 2 classes tonight. It's a sick coverage, so someone is sick, and because the classes were really full, they offer out extra money to make sure that they get covered so they don't have to cancel them. So I'm getting extra pay tonight, which is really great. No other plans for tonight. I imagine it'll be like a quiet, cozy night in with Dave and Poppy. We might read some more or watch some more House of the Dragon. I think we are like the slowest people to get through House of the Dragon. Quite possibly. Still not there. I think we still have 2 episodes left, actually. Anyway, I'll keep you in the loop. Okay. It is Sunday night. I just finished teaching 3 classes. Today has been really great, so I'm just going to head home, listen to Book of Gothel on audiobook. I'm about 2/3 of the way in, so that's really great. I'll be able to, once I get home, give you guys an update, let you know how today was, and update you on the Book of Gothel and what is going on with me reading-wise. It is super cold, and I'm like a little bit avoiding getting on my bike to go home. I forgot gloves. So it's gonna be absolutely freezing. Like, it was freezing on the way here. I'm certain that it's gotten colder since arriving. My lips are all dried out. I need to get some new lip chap. Anyway, that's the plan. So I am home. I have showered. We're tidying the main room a little bit. Here's the plan. I forgot when I was checking in earlier really briefly that today is the Toronto Santa Claus Parade. So my partner and I had planned to watch the live stream. Something like ridiculous is going on with CTV, who normally airs it, and for some reason they're airing it 2 weeks after the actual event. We found a stream online though. So here's the plan. I'm making hot chocolate. We're gonna watch the Santa Claus Parade, maybe listen to Christmas music, which is a huge compromise on my end because Christmas music for me starts December 1st and today is November 20th, but it goes with the Santa Claus Parade, so we're gonna do it. Have hot chocolate. We have stew, leftover stew heating up in the oven. It's gonna be cozy and lovely. We'll do that, and I will at some point take a break and touch base with you about Mother for the Book of Gothel. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Okay, that worked out not bad. We were able to get the Santa Claus Parade on and some Christmas music, and if like a band went by, we would pause the music. It took me about 30 seconds of watching before I started to tear up. I am just like a huge crier all throughout Christmas, especially when I'm away. Although we are going home for Christmas. It'll be our first time going home for Christmas since we arrived here in the summer of 2018. So it's been a while. Really, really excited to be able to go home for Christmas this year. But anyway, as soon as we started watching the Santa Claus Parade, I started tearing up. Because I just like, love the Christmas spirit. Like, everyone's so happy. And I know that it, is not a great time for everyone, but I generally feel like the positive atmosphere at Christmas time is just really lovely. And then B, my family always watched the Santa Claus Parade together when we were little. Not physically in Toronto, I'm not from Toronto originally, and Poppy's maybe gonna start making some noise. We would always put the TV broadcast for the Toronto Santa Claus Parade on when we were little and have candy canes and eggnog or hot chocolate. And even when my oldest sister, who's 10 years older than me, she was actually she went to university in Toronto, and so I would have been 8, 9, 10, in that range, and she actually would drive home, at least at the one time, she came back from Toronto in order to watch the Toronto Santa Claus Parade on TV with us. So I just it's special, and Dave and I had a really, really cozy dinner eating while we watched that with the hot chocolate I made, so it was absolutely delicious. So it's been a really cozy, lovely night, but I thought I would tell you about my thoughts on the Book of Gothel so far. And I'm about a third of the way in. She has made it to like the Gothel Tower at this point. So we're following a girl character named Helevis, starting from when she's young. She has these like fits where she sort of passes out. She also has some like photosensitivity. It's described at one point that her like pupils are like permanently dilated. So there's some sensitivity to the sun, but because she has these fits, the townspeople basically believe that she's like possessed by a demon, including her father. So there's like that whole storyline when she's young and like trying to find a cure for her fits, and the mom has some more traditional beliefs, which was really lovely. But it definitely is like hard to read about her being in this town at this time period when this is happening to her. She also like trains to be a midwife. Her mom is like the local town's midwife, and you know, stuff ensues, and now she is at the tower and we have met Mother Gothel, and I had an idea about something that was going to go on there, and then right before I stopped listening it was proven to be true, so it was nice to guess that. There is definitely some gaslighting going on though, so I'm curious to see how that is explored as we continue. I haven't actually seen the like Disney Pixar Rapunzel story, but I also know that I think that that's a storyline in that component too, so if that is like part of the traditional story with Rapunzel, then that would be absolutely like a really interesting element to explore in this novel. Other than that, you know, I'm enjoying the writing. I'm actually really enjoying the audiobook in particular, and I am just a big sucker for any like historical fantasy book, or any book really that includes herb lore. It's something that like really hits home for me. I really love when authors find a way to weave that in a way that feels genuine, and if it's historical, in a way that like feels respectful for the time periods and respectful for like botany and herb lore and herbalism and all of that. So that's a pretty big buzzword for me, and I am a sucker for it when it is done well, which I think so far it has been done quite well. So I'm still going to continue filming for this week going into tomorrow, Monday, because the readathon did like officially start on a Tuesday, and I didn't start filming like this weekly vlog until the Wednesday anyway. So I'm gonna film tomorrow. Hop up. I think she's really tired. She has like her upper body onto the couch and then just gave up and didn't jump the rest of the way up. She's chewing on her chew though. Anyway, I am also reading The Lies of Lochlamora. I've got my physical copy for that. I am not very far in. I just only picked it up a little bit while reading. But those are the last two books, though, for Step 4 and Step 5 on my TBR. And I have a full, what's today, the 20th? There's 30 days. You know, it's like I've got like a solid amount, like 10 days left from the readathon. I'm a third of the way already with Book of Gothel. I think I probably won't aim to read more than this. I'll probably just stick to The Lies of Lochlamora and the Book of Gothel and hope that I can finish. I think I'll definitely finish Book of Gothel. I don't see any problem there, but fingers crossed, like send a positive, lots of physical book reading time for me in the next upcoming days, so that I can get The Lies of Lochlamora done as well. And then after that, I'm going to pick up Fury Song, whether or not I read it for the readathon or not. I'm not going to do any more poll picks. You guys never pick Fury Song for me. I've learned my lesson. I'm just going to read the book. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So it's Monday afternoon. I know that I said I was going to include All Day Monday in this vlog, but I've been editing the vlog all day, and it actually is totally okay with time content-wise. So actually, this is, all of today, that a Monday that I've been recording, it's gonna be the start of the next week's vlog, so you'll be able to see it then, and I will just wrap up this vlog today. I'll see you guys next week. Good luck continuing on in the readathon, and I'll see you in the Discord.